You're listening to Little Rockers Radio, and today we're talking to Dallas Lyons. He's an ex-RAAF serviceman, dad to 4 children, and he's just released his first children's book called The Night Guardians, Protectors from All Things Scary. Hi Dallas, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. Now, I have to say, when I was first contacted about your book, I have a 9 and a 7-year-old, and saying activate now is part of our bedtime routine, mainly for our 9-year-old.
Yeah.
And your book has helped him tremendously. A lot of people are going to wonder what it is I'm talking about, but just tell us a little bit about the Night Guardians.
It's a story that I used to tell my kids. They struggle with creaks at night and things going bang and all the rest of it, and their imaginations went wild and they found it hard to sleep. And it's just a little story I made up to basically say, okay, if there is scary things and you don't believe your parents when they say there's not, this is what you do about it. And it's just a way to get them to be creative, use their imagination and have a little bit of fun. And it seemed to work for a treat for us as well. We didn't seem to have too many dramas after they put this story into practice. Yeah,
I think it's something that's actually... especially, and this will be my next question, but especially for my son who is 9, who does get scared of, the sounds of the wind and all of those sorts of things. It's something that he just found really believable, and it kind of spoke to him on his level, I guess. So what age is it perfect for?
I think it's perfect, probably for anybody who's scared of the dark or things that go bump in the night, but probably 5 to 11 is probably perfect age. Some kids are scared of the dark past that. I mean, I'm 44 and I only just kicked it last year. But, it really is suited to anybody, but ideally probably the 5 to 11-year-old range. It's a book that kids who are 6 or 7 can read themselves, but it's short enough at the same time for, if they need the parents to read it to them, to knock it over in, 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And it was a story, you mentioned it was a story that you told your own children when they were younger.
Yes. How
did you go from having a story that you told your family to having a published book of that story? Well, tell us a bit about the process.
I was just sitting on the back veranda one day and I was just thinking about this story I used to tell and I haven't had to tell it for a while, and I thought, you know what, I could probably make that into a book. And it just so happens my girlfriend's best friend is a publisher. And I spoke to her about it and she said, gee, that sounds like a great idea. Look, put something down, send it to me and we'll take it from there. And I sent it to her and she said, yeah, let's do this. And I said, oh, righto. So we went ahead and done it and it's doing quite well. Yeah,
and it was launched, how long ago was it launched? It hasn't been out for that long, has it?
No, it's only been out for about 5 weeks.
Yep.
It's only been out for 5 weeks, so it's hard to gauge at the moment, but from what I can gather, it's not doing too badly. It's good. I'm happy with it.
Yeah. And so you should be. I mean, it's something that my son, he grabbed onto it. It really sort of spoke, I suppose, to his imagination. He could understand it. So we've got the rocks around the house. We say activate each night now.
Yes, absolutely. And I love having feedback like that. Like the biggest kick I've gotten is some local kids. I live in Myrtleford up near the snow. And some local kids have bought the book and, I've gotten feedback saying, the kids loved it, they activated it, they run with the whole thing, and that's a bit of a buzz. I know that sounds silly, but it's a bit of a buzz to get that sort of feedback. I thought, you know what, that kid may never be scared of the dark again, and in 20 years' time, he might actually tell his kids that story, and so on and so on. So, I get a bit of a buzz out of it.
Yeah, of course you do, absolutely. And, one of the most common questions that I've had from my son and also from my daughter is, do we say deactivate in the morning? And I promised him I would ask you that.
That's a very good point. I think, as far as I'm aware, that once the sun comes up, they go to bed. That's their sleep time. So they have to be reactivated at night because, they have to be woken up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Now, just to digress a little bit, you served in 2 tours of Afghanistan in the Royal Australian Air Force, and you say that your own experiences of bravery and courage helped bring to life the themes of the book. Tell us a little bit about how this helped.
Well, I suppose it's a different scenario, but over there, obviously, it wasn't the most pleasant place to be at times. So I used to just not imagine, but I know we had certain defences, and knowing that we had those defences helped you sleep a bit tighter at night, if that makes sense. If we were just out in the open, I don't think I would have slept for 6 months. But because I knew we had those defences in place, we were fairly well protected from any danger coming in. And it sort of translates into, okay, well, kids in Australia aren't in that environment, but they have their own fears. They have things that go bang in the night and bump in the night. And it just sort of got me thinking, I wonder what you could do. Would you put sandbags up all around the house? No, you can't do that. That's not practical. But this is just something else that they can do. And they get to use their imagination, and kids have got the best imagination possible, so it's good to tap into that a little bit.
They do, don't they? And the fear to them is just as real. So to us as adults, and I always say this as an adult, it may seem like a silly fear to a child, but to us, but to a child, the fear is real. So
absolutely.
Help with that.
Yeah, it is. And, I think kids are little adults, so they're fairly smart. And, all parents say, oh, don't be silly. There's nothing to be scared of. It's just a wind or just a whatever. And it doesn't matter how many times you say it. If a kid thinks there are scary things out there, there's going to be scary things out there.
Yeah.
So, as I said, this is just a sort of a defence mechanism and have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, and there's more books in the series to come, is there?
Yeah, there'll be at least another one, possibly two, probably towards the end of this year. I'll get the next one out. I sat down and had a think about it, and I thought of a couple other directions I can go in. I'll run with that towards the end of the year.
Yeah, good. Well, we look forward to them coming out. So if anyone wants to buy a copy, where can they get it from?
Facebook has a page called The Night Guardians, and there's also alysbooks.com, which is ALYS books.com. Either of those places they can purchase it, and yes.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, so we'll have those links up on our website as well. So our website's littlerockersradio.com.au. We'll have the links to the Facebook page for the Night Guardians and also Ali's books, which again is ALYSBOOKS.com. We'll have all those links. So if anyone does have young children who are scared of things that go bump in the night, I can't recommend it enough. It's a fabulous book. It's definitely helped my son with going to sleep at night. So thank you very much for that. And thanks very much for joining us today, Dallas.
No, thank you very much. Cheers.
That was Dallas Lyons, author of The Night Guardians, Protectors from All Things Scary on Little Rockers Radio. Thanks for listening.